Hey there, Wolf fans. Welcome to a new edition of Inside the Den. I'm Thomas Holland, Director of Athletic Communications here at Newberry, and I'm joined today by the newest member of the athletic department, head men and women's track and field and cross country coach, Jimmy Stevens. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're glad to have you on board. So, get things started, why not give us a little background on your coaching career?
Well, I started college coaching back at South Carolina when I finished up school there. Started as a GA. It was back in 91-ish, and then went to Furman as an assistant for a few years after that, and then went on to start the program at Wofford College. That was my first head coaching experience. Started that program from scratch. I was there for 5 years, and then had the opportunity to go to the University of Alabama. I went there for 2 years. Got out of coaching for a couple of years. I went to Mount Pleasant and worked in the recreation department, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. And when I was there, I got a call from USC Upstate. They were going Division I, and the athletic director reached out and said, "Hey, would you be interested in starting another program?" Because I had experience with him from when I was at Wofford, and he knew the job I did there. And so I had the opportunity to start another program from scratch. We started that program at USC Upstate, and really had some good success and solid program. And then after that, we adopted our first son, and then 10 months later, we had our first son, our second son. We had biologically, and my wife's business was going nuts. So, whoa, went dark. So I decided to step away from it and really spend time with my boys. And at that point, I had been doing timing for cross country and track and field for basically since I started coaching. It was kind of a side gig, and so I turned that into a full-time job, and it went crazy. And so started timing and did that for a few years, and really had started getting the itch to start coaching again. I missed the relationships that I had with my athletes and that competitive aspect of things. And so decided to start looking. I looked for a couple of years, and nothing really struck me. And then I saw this job, and being a South Carolina guy, I always wanted to. Most of my life I've spent in track and field has been in South Carolina. It all kind of fell into place. It felt like a good fit, and here I am.
Well, that's great. We're definitely glad to have you. So you were hired August 1st. Obviously, you haven't been here even a month, and it's been kind of a crazy time since you started with pushing fall back and now pushing it even back to the spring. So how have things been going for you in your 3 weeks that you've been here?
It's been tough. I mean, I hit the ground running in August. We, just trying to figure things out and feeling out the infrastructure and seeing where we had to go with things, looking at the roster, trying to get a good feel for our team. And pleasantly surprised. I think we have a solid group of athletes here to build around. But it has been crazy. It's been tough to not be able to be with them and get to know them. That's part of what I'm doing is trying to build a family here, and it's tough to do when when you can't be around them that much. And so hopefully that's going to change here in the next few weeks as we can get started doing some athletic activities and hopefully get together as a team and do some bonding and really just to get to know the team. Because, I can look at them on paper all day long, but getting to know them personally and getting to know their strengths and weaknesses and what motivates them, that's really what I'm excited to get started on.
Okay, great. So you kind of touched on it a little bit before. Obviously, you started 2 programs, track and field programs at Wofford and Upstate. the Newberry track and field programs are still fairly young, 3 or 4 years old. How do you think that'll help you build on the success that they've already had in the short time that the track and field programs have been here and possibly compete for a conference championship?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I mean, I think there are some really solid athletes already here, and that's the biggest difference from starting from scratch. I mean, I remember sitting down at Wofford, and it was, I think I started July 1st, and I just sat at my desk, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have nothing. So it's nice to have some athletes, and not have to really have to hunt and really scratch and claw to build that side of it. Having athletes on board is definitely a plus. But still, you're right. It is a relatively new program. I think there needs to be a good foundation built on what we want to do here. And, I kind of lay it out in steps. We want to first be competitive in the SAC as individuals, get kids to the podium, get kids, in that top 3, top 10 area. And then the next step is to start competing for championships individually, have guys that can go in there and compete and have a chance to win. And then you look at it as a team concept. Once you get to that level, that's when you can become competitive as a team. And then from there, we look at qualifying kids for nationals and being competitive at that level. So we're going to kind of try to take it in steps. It's going to take time, but I do think we have kids here that can make a difference in the SAC immediately. I think they can. We have athletes that can jump on board and make that podium, relatively quickly.
Okay, that's great. So, kind of piggyback on that, how would you describe your coaching style and philosophy?
Well, I really focus on the fundamentals. I think a lot of coaches try to get too fancy with stuff, and we just work on getting stronger, getting faster, focusing on basic technique. A lot of the athletes that we're going to get here will be developmental athletes. They're going to be those diamonds in the rough that weren't recruited by a Clemson or a South Carolina or maybe a bigger school, but they still have that potential inside of them to be a high level athlete. So those are the kids we're looking for, and that's what we're doing, is trying to get them to that next level. But really just focusing on fundamentals, focusing on strength and conditioning, focusing on those things that we know will make you better as an athlete.
I gotcha. Um, so you've got 2 assistants. How have they kind of helped you in your first few weeks here adjust and get to know everything?
Yeah, that's, I think, coming into any new program or any new position, the hardest thing is to just kind of get your feet on you and know what you're dealing with. And Machario and Daniel have been amazing. Oh, lights are not going on. They have been amazing, and they've really helped me kind of get a handle on our roster, kind of see how the process with things work as far as getting kids in here, recruiting, getting kids knowing the team, knowing kind of how things have been done in the past, and kind of figuring out just what to do. And they have been invaluable in that respect. Machario was here, I think, a year, and she's done a great job with the team as far as communication and knowing our team and knowing what their needs are, and really gave me a good insight on the school itself and how to get things done. Daniel was here. He was really only here a week before the shutdown started, so he's had to kind of learn a lot on his own because he's sort of been stranded here, but he's done an amazing job. He's hit the ground running recruiting, and really has a good grasp of what it takes to coach these athletes and to get athletes to Newberry and take them to that next level.
Okay, good. You talked a little bit about recruiting. Um, what are you going to be looking for and your coaching staff look for in recruits once you're able to get back out on the road and start evaluating and recruiting?
Yeah, it's kind of a track is unique in that there's so many events and there's so many different disciplines that you do. But I think I touched on it a little bit before. We look for those diamonds in the rough, uh, and obviously we're going to go after the higher level athletes too. But I think a lot of times it boils down to those kids that want a good uh, a true college experience. And I think that's what we can give them here at Newberry, being a college town, a small college where they'll get that experience of really individual attention. But we look for really, I think we're going to focus mostly on North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, really with a focus on South Carolina, because there's a ton of athletes in South Carolina that really, some of them don't even get a chance to run in college. And so we want to give them that chance. If athletes want to work hard and compete and do the stuff they're supposed to do in the classroom and on the track, that's the athletes we want. I would rather have somebody that works hard and really works hard in the classroom, works hard on the track, and really does the things they're supposed to do to be successful, than a high level athlete that may not, that may not feel like they need to do or work as hard. So we want kids that want to run track, that love the sport, and that just want to become better athletes.
Okay, well, that's good to know, Coach. That's all I got.
Okay.
I appreciate you joining us, and looking forward to you guys getting back out on the course and the track, whenever that'll be. Hopefully, that'll be sooner than later.
Yeah.
But good luck, and hope you have a good day.
Thank you so much, and I'm so excited to be here at Newberry, and it really is. Everybody's taken me in as family, so I'm truly excited to see what we can do here.
Yeah, it is a great place. I started in February, and I felt the same way. Everybody here is very helpful, and uh, I've enjoyed it. So,
Yeah. Well,
all
thanks
right.
for having me.
All right. Thank you.
All right, man. We'll
All
talk
right.
to you later.
Okay. Bye.